We are already 5 seasons in to our Building a Nation save, and with FM23 just around the corner, we kind of need to get a bit of a move on. Today's episode then is the start of Season 5. We've got a lot of transfer business to talk about. 12 new signings. You can probably see a couple of names there on this screen if you're clever enough to find them out. We're going to jump right in and take a look. The main thing to mention is Christian Herk has left the club. He has moved to Fortuna Düsseldorf for a lot of money, £6.75 million. The reason why we shifted him on, even though he played a lot of football for us over the last 4 seasons, basically, he's not Swiss. He's not Swiss, he's from Slovakia. We've brought in too many foreigners again, as you'd probably expect, because that's how I do things at the moment. So yeah, I just had to cash in on him. He's not the only big name leaving, there's a few others, but we'll just talk about Filippo Romagna. Obviously, we signed him on a free transfer. He was very, very good for us. It was a calculated decision to let him go. A free transfer was probably not enough money, but he was out of contract. I didn't want to sign him to a new deal and all this stuff, because then it would have been harder to get rid of him. We are going to outgrow Romagna quicker than he is going to outgrow us, if that makes sense. So we've moved him on. Joining the club then, in no particular order, Liam Scales is first up. Centre-back and a left-back, signed from Celtic. I don't know how we realised this man existed, because we've never played Celtic as far as I can remember. 18-year-old Belgian striker Farid Kaba has signed from Mandel United purely because he scores goals. 50 goals in 71 appearances from Mandel United, I think in the second tier, maybe even the third tier. I mean, there's ridiculous numbers, isn't it? And he's actually pretty good. He's only 18 years of age. I kind of want to loan him out. And if Lugano will take him for the season, that's pretty good. Philip Billing is next up on a free transfer signed from Bournemouth. He is getting paid probably too much money, but I think he's probably on paper our best player. Not when it comes to ability, but our best sort of all-round player. He's a big lad. He's 6'5". He's got years and years of experience, Premier League experience as well. I think Billing is a good signing for us. Please talk me out of it, because he's going to play a lot of games for us otherwise. Alexandre Jankovic is next up, signed from Young Boys. Had some time at St Gallen, obviously former Southampton player as well. Played 2 league games, got sent off, lost 9-0. Although technically he got sent off, so he got sent off when it was 0-0, I think. So that's fine, he didn't lose 9-0 at all. Only 23 years of age. He'll be turning 24 on Christmas Day, apparently. That's good for him. But there's a lot of years ahead of Jankovic, and I think we're going to get the best out of him. Another defender to join the club is Per Schurz, signed from Ajax. 80 appearances for Ajax over, nearly 8-9 years, something stupid like that. I think this is a good signing. I'm going to utilise him, maybe as a right back. Hear me out. He's 6'3", but he's not terrible. He's got some pace. He's also all right at crossing, things like that. So I think he can do that role as a backup for Alan Aragoni. Also, he can obviously play as a centre-back as well. Moises Caicedo is next up, formerly of Brighton and IDV in his native Ecuador, and he's not registered. We're trying to loan him out. We've had a couple of teams, I think Emelec from Ecuador came in to try and sign him for like £2 million. I don't want to sell him. Because he's very good. He's got a lot of potential. If we're going to sell him, I want a buyback clause of like 3 million, which they're not going to be able to do. Caicedo's cost us nothing, and I just want to loan him out and keep him in Switzerland if we can. Another player who has joined the club and immediately gone out on loan is Lucien Agume, probably not how it's pronounced, signed for Union Berlin. Much like Caicedo and Jankovic, I think there's a lot of potential there. We're just not going to be able to use him just yet. Getting a season playing in Bundesliga 2 is probably going to help him out a lot, because he's played some football, but it's never been at a particularly high level, has it? And I'm not saying Bundesliga 2 is a high level, but probably higher level than Coton Sports. We've signed a new goalkeeper as well, who's not registered. It's annoying. I want to register him. I want him to be our backup for Bazunu, because our backup at the moment isn't very good, and Bazunu isn't the most consistent. Alexander Schwolo could be his name. Has bags and bags of experience. 33 years old, got a 2-year deal. He's going to retire at the club most likely, but we do need to somehow register him. Billy Cumetio is another player to join and go out on loan, signed from Liverpool. This one was intentional. Brought him in to loan him out. He's gone to Vaduz, who have been relegated from last season, but he's going to hopefully get a lot of football playing in the Swiss Challenge League and the Europa Conference League. That's what I want. Billy, I think there's potential there. He just needs game time. And as you can see, he's never played for anybody until he signed for Vaduz. We've also brought in a Swiss player because there's some other news that we'll talk about in a minute. Miro Muheim has come in as a backup left back, and he might be our first choice left back at some point within the next season. Signed from St Gallen, he was transfer listed, and I thought actually he's reasonable. He's a decent option, he's a decent backup. We can bring him in. He's cost £210,000, and weirdly used to play for Chelsea. Did he? I've never heard of him. This one I am very excited about. Leonidas Sturgeon has signed on loan from Liverpool for the season. He is a superb Swiss footballer. On this game, he is absolutely superb. Because he's Swiss, he helps out massively as well. Sturgeon, I'm hoping we can keep extending this loan deal for a few seasons, or maybe we can just bring him back to Switzerland, because he's not going to get a lot of games playing for somebody like a Liverpool in England. He's sort of like he's a mid-table English player, but he's a top-of-the-table Swiss player. And finally, our main signing of the summer is Ermin Kapsevich, a 17-year-old Bosnian. He'll soon be 18 years of age. He's cost £1.1 million, and I think we might have ourselves an absolute superstar here. He's a perfectionist, which apparently means something. You'd think after playing this game for however many years, I'd know what the personalities mean. Perfectionist I know is good. Kapsevich I think is going to be absolutely amazing for us. Might need to take a few years to properly get there, but he's already good enough to play now. And that has been our summer so far. There is still a month to go. We're only on the 30th of July. I thought I'd come back now because there is going to be some other business going on in the future. Looking as well, let's quickly take a look. Big Pete's gone out on loan to Rapperswil, Montiel to Coruña, Luis Semedo to Boavista, Eddie Salcedo to Spal. We've had to shift on a lot of these players, mainly because they're not Swiss. They're not Swiss, so they can't play for us. Udemir going to SCP, which is Paderborn. I believe it could be Paderborn. We've got a load of players going out. Schaffhausen picking up 3 of our players on loan. Tape off to Rio Ave. Zagreb to Nimes. Agume we've mentioned. Whole bunch of people leaving on frees as well. Romania we've seen. Gillemano. Never really played him, did we? We spent a lot of money. Never played him. Elterman has gone on a free as well. Jadine White. £46,000 to Bordeaux. I hope he has a decent future playing in France. Hefty's leaving, gone to Rapperswil. Atkinson to Neuchâtel Xamax, which is good because he's staying in Switzerland. Sidi Diangana to Ajaccio. And obviously we've seen Christian Herc to Dusseldorf. It's been a busy summer and it's not over. I have a feeling Ko might be leaving. He's got a 7.25 minimum fee release and he has PSG and Bayern Munich sniffing around him. So I think we've had Ko for our one season, and that's him done. Like, he's going to go. It's going to be a profit. I've tried to offer him a new deal. I think we're just going to get that, aren't we? Unless we can try and somehow sell him for about 7 million with a 50% sell-on, which might be the way to go. This as well is the current state of our squad, sorted by position. So we have 3 goalkeepers, Bazunu, Schwolo, unregistered, and Marzino, who is obviously never going to really play for us. On the right-hand side, Persher is our backup right-back with Alan Aragoni. 5 central defenders with Mamana, Scale Sturgeon, Noah Loosely as a backup, and Joan Khan, who is an 18-year-old Liechtenstein central defender who's also part Fijian. He came through our youth intake in the first season, I think. I didn't think too much of him. Sent him out on loan last season to Stade Lausanne Auchi. Still a great name. Absolutely love that name. And he's getting good knee. He's actually not a bad footballer. He's also massive. In the left-back positions, we've got Muheim, who we've mentioned, Schmidt, and Ko Ichikawa, who is probably going to be leaving. Brescianini, Caicedo, Kapsevich, Billing, Toma. Those are our central midfielders. Obviously, Caicedo not registered, so it's not a particularly big set of midfielders that we have at the moment. Pusic is our only natural right winger. Raffia and Jankovic, shadow strikers. Don't question me on the Jankovic one. I don't really know where to play him. I'm going for shadow striker. Genepo, Sene, and Okafor on the wings. I want to try and shift on Okafor, ideally on loan, but if somebody wants to take him on a permanent, St. Gallen's not a bad one, actually. That's maybe what we do. Brennahan and Kaba are our strikers. That's basically our squad. There might be some more business to do. We're going to go forward to maybe a Champions League qualifier, I guess. Probably what we're going to have to play. I don't know who it's going to be. It's not really what we wanted to see, is it? Ko Ichikawa has left the club. It's the 16th of August. We've played a few more league games. We'll talk about those in just a minute. Ichikawa has left for £7 million with no sell-ons. They just accepted a bid. I could do nothing about it. I think it was them, Bayern Munich and somebody else, like an AC Milan, someone like that, all came in. They all got accepted because they're all around £7 million. I protested the Bayern one, and they said, you're right, we do need to get a sell-on clause in there. So they tried to negotiate one in. I could not protest this one, so there's no sell-on clause. So Ishikawa has spent a season here, and we've made a profit, and we'll never see this man again until he probably scores against us in the Champions League. The question is, does that free up a space that I can register Caicedo? No. No, it doesn't, because Ishikawa is technically still registered, and I can't unregister him because he's played. I mean, that's... Literally, I can't unregister anybody who has played a first-team game for us so far this season, which means all of those players are now registered, regardless of whether they stay at the club or not. I don't know whether this is right. It seems a bit broken to me. It seems a bit broken that I could sell half of my team and then not actually be able to register anybody new until next season. That doesn't seem right, does it? Anyway, in the league, we've basically done everything, and Brenner's the only person to score goals. We've drawn with Young Boys, we've beaten St. Gallen, we've lost against Basel, we're 7th. It's not the best start, but we have played the 3 best teams in the league, haven't we? We've literally played the 3 best teams in the league, and we've got the average amount of points across the board. When we start playing Luzerne and Down, we should win against all of those. We should win against some of those as well, let's be honest. Also, I'm not sure whether we're into the Champions League straight away. I think we might be. Because if we look, this is the 3rd qualifying round. So let's go straight to the playoff. That's been decided. So there's no one there. We're not in that. League way, there's none of us there either. I think we're straight into the Champions League. Also, Basel are doing some business as well for us, which is good to see. I have no idea how other teams from Switzerland are doing. Luzerne are in the playoffs for the Europa League. That's good. That's one team who is clearly doing some business. Young Boys are in the 4th qualifying round. So are St. Gallen. They may well start at that point. I don't quite know. Anyone in this side as well? I think we're doing all right. I'm fully aware this episode is all over the place right now. So, we are currently 8th place in the coefficients. We are on a 2.833, which is an oddly specific number, but okay, we will go for that. And what does that mean for next season currently? No change at the moment, but we are already over halfway to replacing the 5.21 that is going to be leaving at the end of the season. I think it's going to be another good year for Switzerland. We're going to go forward, and I don't even know where we're going to go. We might just play one league game, because I've waffled on a lot about transfers so far. Well, I don't think we were expecting to be here in this part of episode 1, were we? But it's the Champions League group stage draw. We are straight into the group stages. It's confirmed. Unfortunately, Basel fell at the final hurdle. I think it was against Nice. They lost 3-1 in the second leg. Yeah, Nice are in there. So Basel dropped down to the Europa League, which actually might be better for us from a coefficient perspective. We are going to quickly draw the first 3, because we are obviously in the 4th seeds, and take a look at the groups, try and work out what one we want. Who do we want? I mean, they're all good. Group F's not a bad one. Fiorentina, Monaco. I think there's definitely some points to be had there. Porto, Leipzig, that's a good group. F and G and E. One of those 3 is what we're after, isn't it? One of those 3 is what we're after. We want to avoid that one. Definitely want to avoid that one. And that one. And Group D. And yeah, and also, yeah, I want E, F, or G. Will do. Good. 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 Here we go. Here we go. We are in Group E. Ajax, AC Milan, Olympiakos. That's a good group. That is a very good group for us. I think we have a chance to finish 3rd or maybe 2nd in that group. We should be able to beat Olympiakos. We might be able to beat Ajax. We might be able to beat Milan. There are points to be had here. Although, I'm going to call back to this in, 2 episodes' time, where we finish bottom of the group and we've got 1 point across the whole thing. We are now going to have a look to see what's going on in the Europa League. So that draw hasn't taken place there, nor has the Europa League 2. I don't know when the draw actually does take place for the next round. I assume it's soon. Surely, it has to be after this. Ties were played on the 28th. When's the second round? I don't know. A few more days have passed. The transfer window has just closed. We did some deadline day business. It is this man, Ashanti Asampao, might be his name. He was an agent offer. I very rarely pay attention to those, but he was a free transfer. And I went, you know what, we'll have a look. He's Brazilian. He's 18 years old. He's lots of 8s and 9s, which could be good. He's brought in, free transfer, like I said. He's going to sit in the under-21s. He might get good, he might be rubbish, who knows. Also, We've played a few more matches. We've lost against Lugano. We've beaten Luzern 5-1. This is hopefully a turning point for our season because we have been pretty poor. To start the season, we have been pretty poor. We're currently down in 6th place in the table, and it's not going massively well, is it? Although a couple of wins will put us onto 13 points, which is what Basel currently have sat at the top of the pile. So it's not out of reach just yet. Winterthur, I don't know what's happened to them at the start of the season. They're running away with it. They're doing superbly well for a team who I personally don't think are that great. We are also going to play one match in this episode, and it is going to be against Olympiakos, our first Champions League group stage game. I still don't know what's happening with the other teams from Switzerland. We'll check that after the Olympiakos game. We now have to play Lucerne. Hopefully, we can win that one as well. Here we go then, the Champions League group stage game. There you can see our starting 11. Kapsevich, Billing and Jankovic being that little triangle in midfield. I'm not quite sure whether Jankovic should be the shadow striker. When I asked my assistant to pick, they said, play Philip Billing there, which I'm also not quite sure is what we want to do either. Ajax obviously will be playing at AC Milan as well at the same time as us. In between the little clips as well, we did play another league game and we won. I think it was 3-0 or 3-1. Brenner getting back in the goals. He's started to learn. I say started to learn. He's already scoring lots of goals this season, which is good to see. 7 minutes on the clock. And already Olympiakos are in on goal. Big Gavin Bazunu gets a hand to that and stops it from going in. And we can calmly pass the ball clear. Looks like we're the early kickoff for some reason. Why are we an early kickoff? We're in Switzerland. Is it because Greece are too far to the west? Or east? Sorry, Brenner's in on goal. Brenner hits it just wide. Oh my word, that could have been the opening goal. Olympiakos coming forward. Cisse's headed effort goes over Bazunu's bar. Not the best of chances there for Olympiakos so far. It's been a fairly even and fairly, I guess, uneventful game. Bukayo Saka has just scored for Real Madrid, by the way, so that's a transfer that's happened in this world. We are starting to get our shots away, but they're not good enough, apparently. We've not seen any of them, but we've had 10 shots, 3 of them on target. We need to do better. We need to start getting some of those shots on target, getting some highlights as well. Also, I probably need to do better team talks. Schmid with a throw for us to Billing. Number 4, plays it in the middle to Sene. Goes for a little run himself, tries to find some space. Now Pusic back to Philip Billing. Thought he was going to try and get some space and pull the trigger. Schmid, Billing, once again, it's not the best pass, but big boy Billing gets there first. Pusic with a ridiculously long-range effort, and the ball is calmly passed around the Olympiakos defence. Pusic with a corner just before the hour mark. It's towards the back post, easily headed clear from Cisse. Kapsevich is going to collect the youngster. Where are you going to go? You have to go backwards, mate. You've got to go backwards. Leonidas Sturdew. The captain, apparently. Scales is going to collect it. Forward to Billing. Now Sene needs some runners. Billing there again. He's such a big unit, isn't he? Pusic and Billing. Billing is just pulling the strings in the middle. Jankovic finds Schmid. Finds Sene. 2 in the box. Maybe a third. Sene back to Schmid. Plays it across to Petar Pusic. And there is the opening goal of the game. It's taken nearly an hour to get here. And we have taken the lead against Olympiakos. And I feel like I don't need to keep saying it, but that's coefficient points right there. That is big coefficient points. If we can hold on, that's a big amount. Sene's going to be coming off. Musa Janapo is going to be coming on to replace him. I'm thinking, Billing's playing well, isn't he? I've got those two round the wrong way. That's why Billing's playing well. He's the box to box. I want you as the ball winner. We're actually doing so well. I don't want to do any changes, although I say that as it looks like Olympiakos are coming forward with the ball. Mavia. He's going to go forward. On the left-hand side is Fortunas. Controls it well. No, he doesn't control it well. Instead, Aragoni can clear it. Oleg collects. They're still coming forward, though. Is that Madi Kamara? It is Madi Kamara. Ribeiro. He goes off to the right-hand side. Pepe. To this man's name. Down the line. 3 in the box. What are they going to do? It's cleared, hopefully. Another cross comes in. Ribeiro hits the top of the bar, and it goes over. I'll tell you now, this match is very difficult for me to record because I've got a cold and I have to pause it every 10 seconds to cough my guts up. So that's why things might be a little bit more jarring than normal. 2 more subs taking place then. Brenner and Sturdew coming off. Joan Khan and Han Kwang Song coming on. We've got about 10 minutes to play. I think that's all of our subs because this isn't the Swiss League. And we've got ourselves a corner. Pusic is the man to take it, crosses it in, it's towards big boy Billing, and big boy Philip Billing is there, making it 2-0. The 6'5" ball-winning midfielder has basically secured us 3 valuable points in the Champions League. 4 minutes of injury time to play, and I was going to say nothing's going to hopefully come from it. Instead, Olympiakos have themselves a chance. Pepe finds Fortunas on the ground as Suarez, puts the ball in. Don't think it's going to count. We are getting VAR. I think it might count, you know. It's not counted. Fair enough. It is still 2-0 then to Grasshoppers. Tiquinho Suarez, which is a good name. His goal is chalked off. We've got 50 seconds to play. Scales with a free kick to Schmid. It's a bit odd we're seeing this highlight. Schmid's going to go for a run down the left-hand side. Going to get an unexpected season underneath him this season because of Ishikawa obviously leaving the club, going to Liverpool to probably never play for them. 15 seconds left to play. Are we going to get a third, or is this just going to be a highlight for nothing? Kapsevich crosses it in. It's controlled by Billing. I thought he was going to just pull the trigger. Back to Khan, now Aragoni. Back to Philip Billing. The full-time whistle goes. All of that highlight was just for this, wasn't it? Was to see that he was miles offside. 2-0 then. A 2-0 performance against Olympiakos, and a good one at that. Arguably, should have won by more. I think we had some decent chances. Brenner did not do particularly well. Not as good as he can do, as we know. But 3 points, vital coefficients as well. And £2.4 million into the bank, which means our finances, by the way, are ridiculous. Our finances, because I'm not spending it. I'm not spending our transfer budget because basically I don't want to, which means we can start trying to do things like that, doesn't it? We'll do the youth facilities. I think our junior coaching is pretty much as high as it can get, which is good. So we'll do training facilities as well. Elsewhere then, we wanted to see what the Europa League groups looked like and what it means for the Swiss team. So Basel in there with Lille, AEK and FCSB, which is not Steaua Bucharest. Apparently it's a different team, although it's Steaua Bucharest, isn't it? And I think that's all the Swiss teams in the Europa League. But the Europa League 2... we should have a lot, right? We should have a lot of teams in here. St. Gallen with Spurs, Shakhtar Soligorsk, and Kukuriki, which is definitely not how it's pronounced. Also, Shakhtar Soligorsk, probably not pronounced like that either. We have Young Boys with Sparta Prague, Sporting, and Besiktas here. That is going to be a difficult group for Young Boys. And I think that is it. Surely not. Surely we got more teams through. I guess the easiest way to check is, I mean, actually saying that, we've got 4 teams out of 5 through. Luzern, what did you do? Did you fall over? You are in it. You're in Group 2, Group D. I didn't see you. I did not see you. That's a decent group. Slovan Bratislava and Maribor are definitely teams you should be able to beat, which is also, I think, a derby. The Slovakia-Slovenia rivalry. It's like an England-Scotland match. I don't know. Luzern, obviously, decent. That's a decent draw, I think. We could be getting some points there. That's huge. Every single team from Switzerland that qualified for Europe are in the group stages. We are going to pick up massive coefficients. We are already on 3.4 for the season. It probably means nothing at the moment. That's right, means absolutely nothing. But we need 2 more wins from any of those teams, and we are going to get more points than the 5.125 that we are losing. It's another good season. It's another promising season. Switzerland are on the up once again. That is going to do it for this episode. It's a bit of a weird episode because it was all over the place. Next episode, we're going to do Milan and Ajax. I think we're going to do that. And then the final episode, the final Champions League games we'll also cover in the one after that. So thank you very much for watching this one. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll be back next time with more Champions League action. Thanks for watching.